Well, I think this is my first video on the new phone. I have a 15 plus iPhone because a couple weeks ago I dropped a weight on my 12 Pro. So I'm getting used to the slight differences. This phone's slightly larger, which I like, and USB-C is nice. But anyway, I'm not really here to talk about my phone. I got a problem. The facility where my mom is pathetic. They're not giving her any physical therapy, and I understand that her insurance doesn't cover above and beyond physical therapy. What they are supposed to be giving her is enough attention to where she doesn't decline. They've decided that she doesn't get any. So I've made formal complaints. I've tried to have a conversation with the owner, and the owner and I came to the agreement she was supposed to be walked 3 times a week. Now, the walk itself is kind of lame, like literally less than 200 feet. Now, for someone of her severity, that's a big deal. I personally have been walking her almost daily. 500 feet. I measured using Google. Google has a measuring tool. So what I've realized is that long term, I can continue doing what I'm doing, but they've decided that because I was retaliating and not signing her out, they want to exploit, they want to basically discharge her. So I'm trying to figure out what to do long term. She needs a place to stay that's not a facility where she's just going to rot, because those facilities are essentially warehouses for people. They don't give people exorbitant amounts of care, enough to where you actually excel. They do the very bit. Well, they don't give you what they need. They give you what they think they can get away with. And that's where I'm trying to figure out what to do. I've made a few formal complaints. Talking to the employees and the guy who owns the place is like talking to a wall. The guy that owns the place, he's basically emotionless. And he denies everything that I'm claiming is incompetence. A lack of care. My mother is more ambulatory than most of the people there. She has her wits to her. Her mind is there. She can have a full conversation. And you want me to pay $400 a month in insurance, and all I'm supposed to get is that? I don't understand how a system as broken as it is supposed to be fixed. I just don't get it. What are we supposed to do about a broken system? I'm not here to talk politics. I just don't know how you're supposed to fix a broken insurance system. You want someone my age to pay $400 to $500 a month for the minimum insurance, and I'm watching my mother deteriorate in one of these long-term care facilities. I'm supposed to expect to get good care. If anything happens to me, I'm seeing it not work with her. How is everyone supposed to deal with this? How do you fix this system? There's no legal oversight that says what needs to happen. There's no legal definition of what a formal walk is. They tried to tell us her standing for 2 feet was a legal walk. I just had a screaming match with them, and I got a bunch of shoulder shrugs. How do you fix that? I'm looking for a place to put my mother. I don't have a bunch of money. How do you properly not watch your family deteriorate, knowing how bad the system is? pay hundreds of dollars a month for insurance, and all it gets is a warehouse environment for our parents, for us. How do you take a stand? I'm genuinely reaching out for everyone because I would love for anyone to comment on these videos and tell me what I should do. I've made the formal complaints already. I've called a few friends to see if they have rooms to rent, because what I'd like to do is have her in that environment. That would be the best case scenario. And I personally can get her out daily and walk her 500 normal, or her 500 feet of normal walking. 500 feet, without even measuring it, it's about half a block. A full-sized city block, which is technically, I've measured it. I've literally used the measuring tool in Google Apps or Google Maps, and it's the block that we walk is a little less than 1,000 feet. It's like 900 feet. She can, when I say comfortably, she can consistently walk the 500 feet. It means 5 to 10 breaks of waiting for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. Sometimes I let her sit for 10 minutes just because I want to make sure she's not too exerted. I would love insight from all of you on what I'm supposed to do here. I don't have a lot of money, but we could probably scrape together enough to have someone come change her diaper 3 or 4 times a week. A day. And once physically she's able to get herself on and off a toilet, that's a lot that physical assistance doesn't have to do. If you're in the South Bay, and you're willing to get paid to show up and change a diaper a few times a week, a day, that would be beneficial, because we've collected a few phone numbers from these facilities, because they're not all bad. Some of the help is actually decent, but it's hit and miss, and it's few and far between. So I've told my mother to collect phone calls of her favorite help so that we can call them and potentially call and have them show up once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. If we find a living situation where ultimately it's a full-time environment and you end up living with free rent, maybe, I don't even know, but that's what I'm trying to reach out for. I'm certainly not a public figure and able to reach out very far, but this is really frustrating. Morally, I can't watch my mother deteriorate. Obviously, she's still got her wits to her. If she was suffering from dementia, this would be a different conversation. She's not. She can have a full conversation. The bulk of her limitations is a stroke. She's very physically limited on her affected side. She can walk with a walker and a lot of break time. I've personally had the same disability. Mine happened before I was born, so I've had my whole life to figure things out. So I have an idea as to how much physical activity is needed to learn to walk. I understand every stroke is different, so we'll never be able to put a percentage on how similar we are. I don't know how disabled I might still be if I didn't have hold on, I got a call. I will talk. I got a customer that owes me money. Bye.